Well, wouldn't you know it, the fraud hand count that's going on right now in the state of Georgia, and I call it a fraud hand count because that's what it is. They're not canvassing anything, they're not auditing anything. There's no way that they can find duplicate votes or fraudulent votes or votes from people who are not registered or out of the state. All they're literally doing is taking every ballot and just putting it back into a bin that says Trump or Biden, which is only going to show whether or not there was an issue with the actual voting system itself, Dominion. And guess what? They found votes that weren't counted by the Dominion machines. They weren't counted by those voting machines. And you think they're going to blame Dominion machines for it? Of course not. There's another reason that they weren't counted. I'm going to tell you in a second. Gabriel Sterling, who's the state's voting systems manager, called it an amazing blunder. Really? You think so? An amazing blunder? 2,600 votes that were not counted. This was out of Floyd County. Now, how many do you think out of those 2,600 votes were for Trump? And how many do you think were for Biden? Maybe this was a lot of votes that could have went to Biden instead of Trump. No, 2-1 they were for Trump. 1,643 of those votes were for Trump, only 865 for Biden. And they went on to say this, of course, because they got a cover for the Dominion voting machines and the software that was used. It couldn't have been them. They said it's not an equipment issue. It's a person not executing their job properly. How did this person make a mistake? Well, we have some mixed messages on exactly what they did. One area said that they were supposed to upload these votes from a memory card. Upload votes from a memory card? What is that? I mean, this should be automated. The votes go in. You shouldn't be uploading anything. That excuse probably didn't sound good enough. So another one that I found that was being reported is that the issue appeared to occur on an optical scanner that stopped working after a couple of weeks of early voting. I wonder why the optical scanner stopped working after early voting. The county officials were supposed to rescan the paper ballots on that machine, but roughly half of them were not recorded. So that's another story I see them going with. But what they're absolutely saying it definitely wasn't is it wasn't the Dominion voting machines. Definitely not those. This counting error was completely a person not uploading something off a memory card, or the optical scanner didn't work and they were supposed to re-put in the ballots, but they accidentally didn't. And of course, they had to add this. They said, although it's very concerning, it doesn't appear to be a widespread issue. Of course they're going to say that because that's all they've been saying all along. We're finding these anomalies and these wrong counts and these glitches all over the place, but it's never a widespread issue. We also know that they are not throwing out any ballots on any normal election in the state of Georgia. Do you know how many of the ballots that they receive through the mail are not counted because there's a problem with them? During a normal election year, about 5% of the ballots cannot be counted because something's wrong. They're not signed right, it's not the right person, something's marked wrong, and it will not count. Do you know how many this year they didn't count? Less than 1%. This year, they accepted 10 times more mail-in ballots than they normally do, meaning they weren't even canvassing those correctly. They were just accepting them. There was definitely some sort of communication that went around state to state that said that we need to accept more ballots than ever before. To a fold that's nationally 30 times more ballots are being accepted than in any other elections that we've ever seen, which means simply they're not actually auditing anything. They're not really checking anything. If the ballot comes in, it comes in, we're taking it. I don't care about the signature. I don't care if it wasn't marked right. I don't care if there was a witness or not. We're taking the ballots. And guess what? They are calling for the county's election director to resign because somebody's got to take the fall here. You gotta place the blame on someone. And so that person's going to take the fall because they didn't upload votes from a memory card. Doesn't that seem weird to you that there's memory cards out there that need to have votes uploaded on them because optical scanners stopped working after some early voting was going on and the director was responsible for taking votes and putting them on a memory card and then upload? Nobody cares. Is 2,600 votes not enough? This is in one county through a fraudulent hand recount. They found this and they're not even auditing this stuff. They're not even really canvassing. They're just doing straight up, take the ballot, Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden. That's all they're doing. That's not a real audit. That's a ridiculous audit. That's an elementary audit. That's a first grader audit. That's not a real adult audit. Don't we live in the United States of America where we're supposed to do things the right way? The way with integrity? Don't we build things the best? We build them to last. Oh, wait. Oh, let's do an audit. Well, how detailed should this audit be? I don't know. How about we just take the ballots and do Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden. That you want to go kindergarten style? Georgia's chosen kindergarten style here? Because that's what it looks like to me. And then you have the liberals who are defending this saying, oh, it's just a hand recount. That's all it is. We're older than 6 years old, folks. We can do a little bit more than Trump Biden. We can check signatures. We're allowed to do that. You know that? We're allowed to check if they're registered to the state or not. That's something we can do. We can actually see if they voted out of state. We can actually check to see if the person's deceased. You know, it's okay. We're adults. We can look into that stuff. We have databases that we can check this stuff. We can verify if it's come on, Vin. Don't go too far with this. It's just a Trump Biden check. It's just a simple hand recount, Vin. Oh, okay. So we want to stick at the 6-year-old level. But guess what? The 6-year-old level found 2,600 votes that weren't previously counted just by simply going Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden. Seems like a problem to me, but not the machine's fault, not the minion's fault, not the software's fault. Somebody's got to take the fall. How about the person who didn't upload the memory card? That's the person that's going to take the fall. Nobody sees a problem here? I see a problem here. I think that they should do a full canvass at this point. There should be a full audit at this point. That is unacceptable to find something like that. Anything that is found like that is unacceptable. 1 or 2 or even 10 or 12 or 30 votes is really unacceptable when it comes to a national election. 2,600 from a simple Trump-Biden hand recount? No way. At that point, you need to stop everything and say, we need to relook in it. Because if we do not make sure that this is legitimate, we're going to lose control. And that's the problem. They're losing control right now. Hope you guys appreciate the information. Stick with me. I have more for you.